Welcome back to the show, everybody. It is Seahawks Now. It is Thursday morning, and guys, we have a big game tonight because guess who's playing? That's right, it's your Seattle Seahawks taking on the Arizona Cardinals on Thursday Night Football. We're going to preview the game, give my prediction, and then give the keys to victory for the Seahawks. All right, jumping straight into it. This is a big-time divisional matchup. The 2-1 Seahawks taking on the 2-1 Cardinals. Seattle so far has defeated the Saints, they defeated the Steelers, and they lost a divisional matchup to the 49ers. The Cardinals, meanwhile, also lost a divisional matchup to the 49ers. They, on the other hand, defeated the Saints and the Panthers. So we both have wins over the Saints. That's the one. We have two common opponents, the Saints and the 49ers. Seattle obviously destroyed the Saints. We beat them 44-13. The Cardinals, they beat the Saints by 7. They beat them 20-13. So the Saints played Arizona a lot closer. On the one hand, you could say that means the Seahawks are the better team. On the other hand, it might also have to do with the fact that they played the Saints in New Orleans on opening day. The Saints probably had more hope in that game than they had all season. On the other hand, the Saints coming to Seattle 0-2 on the road, dejected already. Maybe that had something to do with why the Seahawks dominated them. I don't know. The 49ers, the Cardinals lose by 1 point. Seattle obviously lost by a little bit more than that, but it was still a close game. The Seahawks lost by 4, but they were driving with a chance to score and take the lead at the very end before the Sam Darnold fumble. So I actually think they're pretty even. And then the other game, obviously, the Cardinals beat the Panthers by 5. Seattle beats the Steelers by 17. I think based off the results, the Seahawks, you could say, are a little bit better, but I don't think it's that much. Going into the season, I predicted the Seahawks would win 7 to 8 games. I said the Cardinals would win 8 to 9 games. So I thought they were very, very similar. I didn't think either of these teams was a lock to make the playoffs, but I thought they'd both be competitive. And I think a lot of it for the Cardinals comes down to health. Can Kyler Murray stay healthy, and can James Conner stay healthy? Well, we know James Conner could not stay healthy. He is out for the season, and that gets us into the injury report. That's right, the injury report for the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Seattle, will we be getting back the players who we were missing in Week 3? Here's what we've got as of today. Josh Jones is out with an injured ankle. He did not participate in practice today. Nick Emenwari, ankle. He is doubtful. He was a full participant this week in practice, but he's listed as doubtful for the game. And then your questionables are Anthony Bradford, Zach Charbonnet, and Boye Mafe. The good news is that means Witherspoon is going to be back. It also means that Elijah Arroyo is going to be good to go. Leonard Williams is going to be good to go. It means that Julian Love, who also missed the game against the Saints, Julian Love's going to be back. So that's huge. You get back your all-pro safety, Julian Love, and your all-pro cornerback, Devon Witherspoon. That is a big-time get back for the Seahawks. You're still missing Emenwari, but I think eventually he will come back healthy. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, out is Zay Jones. Doubtful is cornerback Will Johnson. That's huge. I think that really helps the Seattle receiving core out. And then your questionables include Kelvin Beachum, your tackle, guard Evan Brown, linebacker Akeem Davis-Geither, cornerback Darren Hall, guard Will Hernandez, and tackle Parrish Johnson Jr. And then obviously, like I said, on the injured reserve, James Conner. That is a huge loss for the Cardinals. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, they actually put fullback Robbie Outs on the injured reserve. So Seattle will be playing without their star, well, not star, but their solid rookie fullback. That is a big loss as well. So at the end of the day, most of your star players are in. The big deal for the Cardinals is James Conner. They don't really have a great game without him. It'll be Trey Benson who will be their starting running back in this one. And I think it's time with that to move on to my prediction. So who was going to win this crucial battle? And it is a crucial battle. I mean, the winner of this game is 3-1 with a divisional win under their belt. For the Seattle Seahawks to go on the road to Arizona and get a win would be huge. We usually struggle. I'm going to preface this by saying we usually struggle in Arizona. Even when we were at our best with Russell Wilson and the Legion of Boom, Arizona was always a spot where we would fall to these trap games. The Cardinals always seem to be this pesky team. I remember a lot of really annoying losses against the Cardinals, a lot of really annoying injuries against the Cardinals, and it usually happens on the road, right? Which is the kind of the opposite of some of the other teams. Like the Rams seem to always beat us at home, and we always seem to beat the Rams in LA. The Cardinals is the opposite. We tend to dominate the Cardinals in Seattle, but we tend to struggle in the desert. So that's probably why you're looking at the odds pretty much even. Looking at the latest odds, Seattle versus Cardinals, it looks like the Seahawks are slight favorites, I think. Let's look at CBS Sports. CBS is showing, they're showing Seattle minus 1.5. So yeah, very close. The money line, Seattle minus 120, Arizona plus 130. According to DraftKings, the over-under is 43.5 points. The game, by the way, only on Amazon Prime. You cannot watch this on regular cable TV. Why the Seahawks? Says CBS Sports. Here's what they have to say. They say that the Seahawks win will be because of Sam Darnold, who's continued his strong play. Kenneth Walker powering the Seattle rushing attack. Meanwhile, they say why the Cardinals? Well, Kyler Murray, seventh-year quarterback, off to a solid start this season. Trey McBride has been having a good year as well. So, yeah, there's reason to believe in both of these teams. As far as some of your expert picks, again, it looks like the experts are pretty split. A lot of people saying Seattle, a lot of people also saying Arizona. So I don't think there's a whole lot of kind of, it doesn't look like the analysts are going really one way or another. And again, the minus 1.5, that basically means it's a toss-up, right? It means they're saying they think Seattle is about 3 to 4 points better. But at the end of the day, it is a road game, so that's why it gets to be a slightly lower line. My prediction ultimately is, and you guys might not like me for this, I'm going to predict that the Cardinals actually do scrape away with a very narrow victory. I think it gets very close. I do think Sam Darnold will play well, but I think the Cardinals, they've looked good this year. They looked like a scrappy team. They usually tend to play well at the beginning of the season, and like I said, we always tend to get tripped up in the desert. So I think the Cardinals are going to sneak out a win. I'm going to say 23-20 is your final score. Cardinals win by a field goal. I don't think this sinks the Seahawks season. I don't think it by any means makes them a bad team. I'm obviously rooting for the Seahawks to win. I hope that my prediction is wrong, but I'm not always going to be able to pick my team to win every single game. I have to understand that. So I am going with the Cardinals to win this game. But if I were to pick the Seahawks, what are the keys to victory, right? What are the ways that the Seahawks can reverse my prediction and win this game? Well, number one, key to the game, dominate on the ground. The Cardinals, like I said, without James Conner, they're going to have to lean on Trey Benson and Kyler Murray to carry the load on the ground game. The Seahawks, if they can dominate themselves on the ground, I think they can really set the tone. Kenneth Walker is going to have another big game. I think Kenneth Walker is capable of it. However, Kenneth Walker has also turned to be, it's somewhat inconsistent. He's kind of hot and cold, shall we say. So hopefully he stays hot against the Cardinals. That's key number one. Key number two is shut down Kyler Murray. Kyler is not an amazing he's not an elite quarterback, but what he does have is he has a really good ability to make plays, right? Kyler Murray is a playmaker. I like to say he's kind of Russell Wilson light mode. He's like Walmart Russ. There's definitely a lot of young Russ in him, but he's not as good, right? But he is going to do some of that. He's going to run around. He's going to try to make a crazy play. He's going to extend plays when you think they are dead. So the key is have a spy on him at all times. Make sure you're not sending the house all the time, because if you blitz Kyler Murray, Kyler's one of those quarterbacks you can't really blitz him because he's going to try to escape and to get out of the pocket. And if you fail, if you don't bring him down, he's going to make you pay for it by either finding the open guy or by just scrambling. So, from that sense, you have to make sure you're not letting Kyler, you're not giving him the opportunities to beat you, because he will beat you. If you give him the opportunity to beat you, he will. You have to really stay foundationally sound on defense to take down Kyler Murray. I will say we did a good job against him last year, so I'm interested to see what it's going to look like this time around. But those are my keys to victory, really. Dominate on the ground and control Kyler Murray. Don't let him beat you. Don't let him take advantage of you and of your defense, because he will. Again, he will. He'll find ways. He'll make you pay if you make a mistake. But he's not the type of guy who's going to just beat you no matter what. There's a way you can stop Kyler Murray from being this dynamic guy, and at the end of the day, it comes down to playing fundamentally sound defense and not giving him the ability to make a play. Don't leave guys open. Don't send the house blitzing on him, because again, if he escapes, if he gets away from your blitz, he's gonna find the open guy, or he's just gonna run down the field on you. So that is the big key to not letting him be that dynamic playmaker. With that being said, that's going to wrap this video up for today. As always, like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another breaking video. And with that all being said, hope the Seahawks win.